Hello everyone, my name is Lucy Hayden and I'd like to offer you all a very warm welcome to today's webinar, The Celebrity Service Experience. Supported by our event partners 8 Wealth International, we're delighted to welcome motivational speaker and author Geoff Ramm today. 8 Wealth International opened its doors to clients in Singapore in August of last year and we're delighted to be working with them on this event. Today's webinar is going to be an interactive session, so if you'd like to ask Geoff a question, please post using the Q&A box on your Zoom toolbar, or the chat box is also open for comments, so please do get involved. With that, I'll now hand over to Giles Henman, Senior Partner and Head of Business at 8 Wealth International, to kick off today's session.
Thank you, Lucy. Well, my opening line was going to be, my name is Giles Henman, I'm the Head of Business of 8 Wealth International, but I'll leave that bit for now because Lucy helped me out with that bit. But for those of you that don't know us, we are the international division of 8 Wealth Management, a chartered financial planning and chartered accountancy firm managing over £2 billion worth of assets across Asia and the UK. Our main focus is on British expats or those with UK considerations, and we take a tax-led approach to financial planning. We're also a business that likes to give back to our client communities and through the foundation work that we do, putting our clients at the heart of everything we do. So what does that have to do with the concept of celebrity service, I hear you or may be thinking? Well, I was lucky enough to listen to Mr. Geoff Ramm in person last summer at the 8 conference, which they held every year, and was blown away by many of the messages and concepts that I heard that day, so much so that I wanted to introduce it within our business in Asia. And we've been doing lots of work with our team here in Singapore to introduce our version of celebrity service, and some of which we've listed there. So an 8 repatriation service, which helps people move back to the UK, both in terms of post-planning, but welcoming people at the airport with a car, a limo, and helping with finding schools and houses. We're launching the 8 Tax Hub in the next month or so, and that will be led by Kelly Gregg, one of the UK's brightest and most respected private client lawyers and international tax experts. We have 8 Social, which is our way of giving back to our client communities through social events, having fun, but also technical and educational seminars. 8 Health is our attempt at, again, working and enjoying time with our client communities, fitness classes on the beach and the odd yoga class. 8 Education is our financial education program with children, which we think is hugely important, particularly for under 10s, and we're working with schools in Singapore to implement that. And 8 Cares is our work with our employees, both in terms of introducing flexible working and everything associated with just making sure that we are the best business to work for in financial services industry across Asia. So without further ado, because you're not here to listen to me, I'd like to introduce our guest today. He is the creator and author of Celebrity Service and Celebrity Service Superstars. He's challenged and inspired audiences across 44 countries to create award-winning ideas to outperform the competition. His clients include Emirates, Warner Brothers, Balfour Beatty, and of course, the most important, the Chamber of Commerce Singapore. Forbes called him a game changer. So please, without further ado, give him a warm Singapore welcome to Mr. Geoff Ramm. Over to you, Geoff.
Thank you very much, Giles. Welcome, everybody. Hope you are all well. Coming live in Singapore from the northeast of England. Okay, I've got a big question to ask every one of you right now. A big question. It's an easy question, but I need your absolute 100% honesty. That's all I need. Okay, just honesty. On the scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is abysmal, but 10 is incredible. 1 is abysmal, but 10 is incredible. What number would you give yourself right now, today, for the levels of service, customer, member, passenger, guest experience you're giving every single one of your customers? 1 is abysmal, but 10 is incredible. What number would you give right now, today? If you thought of a number, pop it in the chat. just put one number in the chat. Oh, we've got a 9. We've got a 9 already. We've got a 7. Keep going. We've got an 8. Sue, I knew you would be an 8. David Magnus, 5. Thank you very much. Very honest. Andrew, we've got a 7. Keep going. Keep going. Put it in the chat. We've got 9, 7, 8, 5, 7. 6. Laura, thank you very much. We have a 7. Keep them coming in. We said this would be interactive. Keep them coming in. Keep them coming in. We've got another 7. Okay, thank you very much. Keep going. Keep going. Let's have a couple of more. Helen, we have an 11. I didn't know that was on the scale. Thank you very much. We've worked together for the last few weeks. You could be a 12. Any more at all? So we got, okay, 9, 7, 8. Okay. In over 44 countries where I've spoken, where I've delivered for all sorts of brands and services and sectors, it's a question that I ask virtually on sessions like this or in person with shoes on. On a scale of 1 to 10, what number would you give yourself? The global average is a 7 to an 8. And we've pretty much got that now. We've got a 5, we've got a 10, we've got a 9, but the global average tends to be what we have today, 7s and 8s. And what people are saying to me is, Geoff, we're pretty good. We're pretty good. But there's always room for improvement. But where does that improvement come from? Well, it might not come from the training, the courses, the books, the manuals you've read for the last 30 to 40 years. Because every book, speaker, trainer, manual I've flicked through and read through and watched will tell you 2 things in order for your business, your service, your organization to stand out in 2022 and beyond. There's 2 things. The first is this. You must always go the extra mile. The second thing is you must always exceed expectations. It's hardly as inspiring, is it? Every book, manual, trainer, speaker for the last 40 years, 4 decades have talked about going the extra mile, exceeding expectations. It's hardly the leap forward we need to make us the number 1 in our field. There's nothing new in the world of customer service, but I think I've found something. The thing that is redesigning and redefining how we can deliver for our clients, our passengers, our members, our customers, starting from tomorrow. So I'm going to share with you a philosophy, a technique, and some stories that will hopefully bring something very new to life within your business, live with the Chamber today. Okay, let's share some slides. And thank you for your honesty, by the way. I really do appreciate that. Let's share some slides. Okay, if you want to follow me or tweet me or LinkedIn, Geoff Ramm, it's a fairly easy place to look and find it. So if you want to connect with me, please do. So let's go back to those numbers. We had sort of 7s and 8s. We had some quite high numbers. So why is it that as a father, as a husband, as a business person, I'm constantly disappointed in the levels of service that I receive? Like every day I'll receive a 2 or a 3 and it's like, oh, really? And people are saying to me, Geoff, we're really good, but in reality, it's not quite the same. Let me give you an example. I was speaking on the island of Kish. It's a tiny little island off Iran. And the night before the conference, me and a couple of my friends, fellow speakers, we went to the local shopping mall to buy some gifts for family and friends. So as I'm walking around, I came across this one business. This one business stood out like nobody else. And I was like, oh, look at this. So I took out my phone and I took the following photograph. Take a look. It's a florist, but look at the lights. Look at the glass. Look at the wonderful produce in the windows. But look at who's going to serve you tonight. Oh my word. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, he's like a -3. But isn't it amazing how we can look amazing from the outside? We've won awards. We look at our wonderful website. Look at our offices. Look at our gleaming, shining stuff. But it's the people inside your business that will make or break that customer experience. You've heard this. I've heard this. It's nothing new. So what about something new? Well, Here is the philosophy, and the philosophy is a question. And if you ask yourself this question, and your team and your colleagues, at any single given customer touch point, from writing proposals to sending emails to meetings, there's thousands of touch points in your business. Ask yourself this question, this one question, because it will change everything. If your next customer, client, member, passenger, guest were an A-list, celebrity, Hollywood, god or goddess, what would you say? What would you do? How would you react? What would be the difference? If your next customer were to tweet you, email you, walk through your doors and become your next client, but they were an A-list, celebrity, Hollywood god or goddess, what would be the difference? What would be the difference? And you're thinking, well, what do you mean? What do you mean sort of A-list, Geoff? I'm talking about, let's put this in, what time do your offices close? What time does your business close? You know, you say, oh, Geoff, we're 24 hours. Well, that's great. Not everybody is. But I'll say to you, what time do you normally close? And you might say to me, 6 o'clock in the evening. I'll say, fantastic. What happens if Brad Pitt or George Clooney would say to you, I could do with some financial advice? You know, I'm quite wealthy, but I still need a bit of advice. I'm moving to Singapore. My flight gets in at 8 o'clock tonight. I can't get to you till 10 o'clock tonight. Could I come and see you in your offices? Do you tell them? Do you tell these people? Do you tell Angelina, we're closed at 6, Angelina, but you can come back tomorrow if we can fit some space in the diary? No, you don't. You stay open. In fact, you tell your colleagues, Angelina Jolie is coming to the office. They say, what? Oh, no, she's bringing Denzel. She's bringing Julia. You're joking. No, they want some financial advice. What time do they arrive? 11 o'clock tonight. I wonder how many of your team leave at 6 o'clock compared to I wonder how many would stay for an extra 4 or 5 hours. I wonder if the coffee that you will serve these people, I wonder if it's the same coffee you're serving me and Giles and Lucy and Helen. I wonder if it's the same coffee. I wonder if your smile is wider. I wonder if your shoes are shinier. I'm just wondering about all these little things that you would tweak and make different. I wonder if they would have to find a car parking space like your normal clients would have to. And it's, maybe you would have something special. Maybe you would meet them at the airport, just as Giles and Ate are doing at the moment. Maybe you'd meet them, of course you would. But do you do this for a normal customer? Can you see the difference? Can you see it? Right now we're delivering, we've got a 5, we've got a 12, but we're delivering 7s and 8s in the main across the world. But if a celebrity were to walk in, your service levels go to there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the gap. The gap in your service you don't realize exists within yourself, within your team, within your business. And it's a gap that if you can fill, there is not a competitor in your marketplace, in your sector, can touch you for the experience and the service you could provide straight after this event. It's called celebrity service. That is the philosophy. Have fun with it. Challenge yourself with this one question. But many years ago, I wrote the whole program. And we did so much of that for 8 last year live in person. Celebrity stands for consistency, excitement, love, engagement, bravado, response, independence, thank you, and you and your team. These 9 components I fill with hundreds of stories to bring them to life, to show you what it looks like when we deliver a complete 360 form of experience. So that is the philosophy. But let's look at the people who are delivering it today. Let's look at the first E in celebrity, excitement. Now, everybody can do this, and you're thinking, oh, hang on, Geoff. Hang on a second here. We're a recruitment business. How exciting can we get? Geoff, we're in buildings. Geoff, we're in construction. Geoff, we're in finance. Geoff, we're funeral directors. What do you mean excitement? For excitement, see smile on face. You don't have to juggle when they come and see you. You don't have to tell jokes in your newsletter. just spot an opportunity to put a smile on somebody's face. You never know that message, that thing that you do, you never know where it could lead. One of the greatest examples I've ever seen is what I'm going to share with you now. My wife, Hayley, and our daughter, Grace, they love the theatre. They love the theatre. They love going to the theatre. And like I said, I'm based in the northeast of England. And so they get on the train from Newcastle train station, and they went all the way down to King's Cross. And I think they went to see Matilda. I think it was Matilda in the West End. So they went all the way to King's Cross. They did some shopping. They had some food. They went to see Matilda. They did some shopping. They had some food. They got on the train and they came back. So they were away for, from about sort of 5, 6 in the morning till sort of 10, 11 o'clock at night. I'm having breakfast, 7:30 in the morning. Elliot, our son, comes down. We're having breakfast together, and he knows that his mum and sister, they're in London for the day. So we're going to have a boys' day, but we hadn't planned anything. But he turned to me and he said, "Daddy, can we go on a big train?" And I said, "Yeah, but we're not going to go all the way down to London. That would be a little bit crazy, Elliot, you know, sort of 4 hours there and then 4 hours back." I said, "But yeah, we can go on a big train, but maybe we'll go on a shorter journey." He said, "Oh yeah, that'd be great." So we also went up to the train station earlier that morning. And I went into the ticket office and I walked up to the counter and I said, "Next big train, please." She said, "I'm sorry?" I said, "Next big train." I said, "My son loves big trains. He doesn't want a small train." And I said, "I just want about an hour's journey." So an hour's journey south of Newcastle is about York. North, it's kind of Edinburgh, you know, that type of thing. I said, "I just want a big train. The next big train you've got, I'll have 2 tickets." She went on the computer. She went, in 11 minutes time, there's a train that goes to Edinburgh. It stops off at Berwick. I said, "Perfect. I'll have 2 tickets." She said, "How old's your son?" I said, "He's 4. By the way, this is Elliot." I said, "He's 4. She says, "Oh, under 5s are free. He doesn't need a ticket." Ka-ching! I've just saved some money. That's good news. Under 5s are free. He doesn't need a ticket. But I think he'd like one. What's his name? Elliot. She took out a blank ticket from the machine. She picked up a pen and she wrote 3 words. She let over the counter and she said, "There you go, Elliot. Have a wonderful trip." His face lit up. I'm getting the receipt. I'm getting my card. We open the door. We're walking. We're hurrying now to the platform because the train's about sort of another 5 or 6 minutes away. So we're hurrying. And as I'm walking, Elliot's just beside me, but his face is beaming. And I said, "Are you all right?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Daddy, look." Oh. And before I got on the train that day, I held the ticket up and I took the following photograph. Now I can just about hear this in your homes, in your offices in Singapore. I can hear this. I heard half the people on this session have just went, oh, that's lovely. The other half, I haven't heard a thing. I haven't heard a thing. Very, very quiet. You're the people that say, "Well, that's a waste of card, Geoff. We're talking about sustainability, chopping down trees." And I'm like, shut up, shut up. This is rare. This is a wonderful, beautiful thing. It's so, so rare. It's listening. It's asking. It's providing something very, very subtle. 3 words on a piece of card. He now had his own ticket. Do you know what I did with this photograph? Well, since it's happened, it's pretty much been in every one of my talks all over the world. Okay, so I just thought I would share with LNER and Virgin Trains as it was. I am promoting them, LNER and Virgin Trains. I promote them all because this is stunning. So at every talk, I talk about this. It's content in my books. It's actually a piece in one of my books. I put it on social media. I put it on Twitter, I put it on Facebook. On Facebook, it was one of my biggest postings of the year. On Twitter, I tagged in the train companies that had done this. Instagram, LinkedIn, you know the score. But since this was done, and I repopulate it every so often, every 6 months or so, I'll repost. It's been liked, shared, retweeted, and it's hit over 2.2 million people. Who's talking about you? Which speaker around the world right now, virtually or in person, is talking about you and your business and what you or your business have done for them or they've heard, and they're telling your story? Which clients or customers of yours are blogging about you or writing about you or posting about you or sharing these amazing experiences on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram? If you're saying to me right now, Geoff, oh, lots of people are doing this, it's great, we're wonderful, oh, we love it, that's wonderful. You're delivering a high level of service. But if you're saying to me, Geoff, nothing, then maybes, just maybes, we're not delivering an experience worthy being talked about. That stops here today with this session. We had a horrible time in Berwick. Now, I know you're on the other side of the world, but have you ever been to Berwick? Just rains. Just rains. We literally got off the train, it was like, we went, oh, stuff this. So we got on the next train, we went back to Newcastle. But you know what, Elliot had his day on the big train, and that's all that counted. But we got back to Newcastle train station, and there's one thing I hadn't done. There's one thing I hadn't done. And it was a video. I thought, I want to create a little video, just something on my phone, a little video, and I'll put it to YouTube, and I want to talk about this experience. My YouTube channel, by the way, if you want to go to it, just type in Geoff Ramm, subscribe to it. There's over 100 videos there that I hope will help you and your team, so please help yourself. Look for the video there, Elliot's Magic Ticket. You see, I'm talking about it a couple of times, but also there's the original video. I talk about the lady in the ticket office because I didn't get her name. She didn't have a name badge. I didn't ask it because I was so busy getting to the platform and getting my card. I thought, oh, Geoff, I don't know her name. What was her name? Oh, doesn't matter. Just call her the lady in the ticket office. Have a look at the first comment on that video. It says, hi, Geoff. That's my grandma. She wrote Elliot's Magic Ticket. Her name is Pam Thompson. I was like, oh my word. And when I found out this little nugget of information, the name of the person who'd done this, within 2 weeks, I awarded Pam a Celebrity Service Star Award. I've only ever given out 6 in my lifetime. Who's talking about you? But can you see the element of excitement? What would you do if a celebrity were to want to meet you in your offices tomorrow? If you were to go and meet them at an exhibition next week, the email that you send, if it was a celebrity, would you spend another 30 seconds, maybe use a different form of language? Or are we still cutting and pasting the usual for the usual? Find the time, find that extra 30 seconds to say something, do something, react something different. You know, if a celebrity wants a proposal from you for a piece of work, an A-list celebrity, a George, a Brad, a Cameron Diaz of this world, do they have to wait 2 weeks like everybody else? You put them to the top. There is always, and always will be a difference on how we would treat these people. The trick is knowing what we would do and then transferring that to every normal customer. So thank you very much, Pam.
Thanks ever so much, Geoff. I'm going to hand over in a sec to Lucy. Apart from saying, hopefully the people that attended the webinar today enjoyed it and now realise why we were so compelled to bring Geoff, albeit virtually, to Singapore. What I would say is the work that we've done internally, inspired by Geoff, has been a real game changer in terms of the services that we offer our clients and the way that we look after our people within the business. And that's all down to you, Geoff, or certainly your inspiration that you gave us last year. So thanks everybody for listening. If you want to reach out to us at any point, feel free to do so. We're always here to help. And as I said, I'll shut up at this point, say goodbye to Geoff and hand over to Lucy.
Thank you so much, Geoff, for spending your valuable time with us today. So it's clear how passionate you are about customer service, and I'm sure we've all taken away some great lessons. I know I have. So once again, we really appreciate your time, and thank you to all of those who joined us in the audience as well. Final thank you to Giles and the 8 Wealth International team for your support today, and we look forward to working with you in the coming months. So before we sign off, I'd just like to highlight a couple of our upcoming events that you can see on screen now. So make sure in particular you don't miss out on our International Women's Day activities. There is a great webinar coming up on the 10th of March. You'll receive a feedback form after today's event. So please do fill that in. Let us know what you'd like to hear more of and how today's session went, and for us to pass on Geoff some feedback also. So that just leaves me to say a final thank you again to Geoff and to Giles and to everyone who's joined today. And we look forward to welcoming you to another event soon. Thank you very much.